Whether you keep them in your home or love to see them in theirs, these are the creatures that bring us all together.
Reptiles. We're going to be delving into the experiences of reptile lovers from around the block and around the world. This is the Reptile Talk Podcast.
Boom. What is going on, everybody? This is Jeremy Turgeon from Brassman Reptiles.
And I'm Robin. I'm keeping it real.
And Rob is dancing because he's happy about his hoodie.
Bro, I fucking love this thing. Also, I'm super pumped for tonight. This is going to be a good episode.
Hell yeah, me too.
But yeah, I'm just overall, I'm super geeked.
Absolutely. Heck yeah. If you guys missed, so this is 101, dude. This is 101.
Also, first episode of 2023.
Yeah, buddy.
Brought to you by Black Box Cages. What's up?
Hey, that's it. That is it. Heck yeah. Dude, it's 2023, man.
Can you believe that?
It's after the last 48 hours I've had, I 100% can believe it.
I'm just glad that it's not as cold as it was 2 weeks ago because I was stressing.
Bro, it was so cold in Massachusetts. I talked to my dad today and he's like, it's 36 degrees and it snowed earlier this morning. And I was like, guess what? It was like 63, 65 today. It was great. Dude, I was so happy. So for anybody who's listening who hasn't seen, needs some context, I got called to play at the Massachusetts governor's inauguration at TD Garden in Massachusetts. So I flew out for that yesterday, and flew back in today. Like I just got in this morning. I've been trying to take care of a bunch of things since I got back. And so I've gotten 5 hours of sleep in the last 48 hours. So,
oh no.
Yeah. So Rob's probably going to ask all of the questions tonight, and I'm just going to be here to laugh and hang and
Jeremy's going to be the personality tonight. And then I'm
the faded personality tonight. No, I'm super excited for tonight's episode. I'm super stoked. First show of the year. And first show after breaching 100. I'm so stoked.
Boom.
If you missed the 100th episode, make sure you go check that out. We had a great time talking with Brian Barczyk and so many of our other friends like Savannah, Rich Crowley. I mean, so many wonderful people. So go check that out if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you to everybody that's already here in the chat. Definitely appreciate that. You guys know the deal. If you feel so inclined to send us a super chat, we'll highlight it and chat about whatever it is you want to chat about for literally 3 seconds, and then we move on. No, I'm kidding. But no, we're going to have a great time. We're talking with Brandon Wheeler from Morelia House. Let's get him in here.
What's up?
What's going on, bro?
Man, just another Friday night. Getting ready. I have 2 options tonight: podcast or pack for Pomona. So we're podcasting, and I'm gonna wake up way too early to pack.
Way too early for Pomona.
God. Oh God! How far is the drive really long for you? Because you're in San Diego, right?
No, I'm super lucky. It's like an hour. I mean, with good traffic, it's like an hour and 15.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. The key there, though, with good traffic,
it ranges up to 2.
Okay, all right.
It can easily become 2 hours.
That's still not horrible for Southern California traffic. That's still not horrible.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not that bad. It's really not.
Yeah, when I used to do the White Plains show, it was like 3.5 hours from where I lived, and I would do it religiously. I was like, I gotta go to the White Plains show.
Yeah. Yep. The traffic was never that brutal. Although leaving the show, if you stayed
leaving
the
show was bad.
And then left,
yeah.
Oh,
New York City traffic. Yeah.
Dude, so bad. Even when I would stay with Lenny in the Bronx, or I'm sorry, in Brooklyn. God, New Yorkers, please don't kill me for that. Sheesh. Remember, 5 hours of sleep in Brooklyn, man. Like just going from the show to his place would sometimes take over an hour, and it's like a 25-minute drive.
Damn,
like, man, this is brutal.
Yeah. Brandon, I gotta see your shirt. Let me see your shirt real quick. Bro, hell yeah.
Heck yeah, that's a badass shirt, man.
That is tight.
I need a hoodie though. You got the hoodie. I don't hoodie. Yeah.
So
epic.
We're probably gonna be making some more of these, just like a select number of them, just because I was like, dude, I am in love with this design, and more people need to see scrub stuff. There needs to be more scrubs on clothing. So
yeah, facts.
More scrub clothing. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deal.
I got my scrub.
Dude, you need to get a scrub on scrubs.
A scrub on some
You get a scrub on scrubs. I'm just saying that would be awesome.
You could wear them to bed, or
I'll wear them to the expos. Everyone would be like, "Is he
whatever?
Vet? What's going on right now?"
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
It's a scrub squared. So Brandon, we got to talk scrubs a little bit, at least on this episode. So
yes.
what are you working with scrubs? You got some really nice stuff over there, so we got to talk a little bit. Come on, you got to spill a little bit.
Thanks, man. I've been so right now scrubs have been a passion of mine for a long time. And right now I have 2.2 adult Barnecks, 1.1 adult Southerns, and then also have a pair of Waminas, and I have a pair of Moluccans. And those are like between 1 year and 2 years old.
Hell yeah.
But dude, I've been trying to breed these Barnecks, and they're like 10 years old. Like, we're ready.
They're ready.
All right. Like this old, are they old enough? That was a long time ago. They still can't get any fucking eggs from these snakes. Rob.
Yes.
What did you do?
I moved across the country. No, honestly, what I think I did that might be a little bit different than what a lot of people do is that just when I was moving, there was like 2 weeks that temps were just like way cooler than a lot of people are probably comfortable going with. I had everything down into the 70s for a week and a half, and they had an area where they could get a little bit warmer, but while I was moving and like the week or two after that, just setting up enclosures and getting everything settled took about 2 weeks of getting everything cold. That's the biggest thing that I found that was different this year than the last couple of years that I tried them, because I didn't get any interest in pairing or locks or anything. Like, I did introductions for the first 6 months of the year, and where I'm at, I only saw interest. Like, the male was only interested in the female April and May. That was it. Like, when we had our storms, our spring storms come through April and May, if I introduced the male in, he immediately would start courting. Any other time, I did one introduction in January, 2 in February, 1 in March, put them together, not interested at all. They would just sit on opposite sides, or sometimes they would hang out together, but not like together like they're pairing. And then consistently for the last 3 years now, I've put males in April and May, and as soon as I put them in there, they start courting, they start locking up, and I mean, that's what worked for me. And judging by my timeline and the timeline for Stephen Cush, when he was hatching out his stuff, because his stuff hatched out pretty much the same time mine did, I'm thinking that at least for, what I'm seeing, that tends to be when. But, I saw someone recently online, I think it was Indo Serpents. He paired up his, and he was getting some courting behavior now, which is like really early. But I have seen people pairing them all around the year. I just don't really see anything happening until, at least for the ones that I'm trying to watch everyone who's got them and see when they're pairing stuff and when what's working and what's not working. But yeah, for me, the last 3 years, anytime that I pair outside of that April, May timeframe, nothing, they're not interested. They don't hang, they're not doing anything, but a pair in April and May and they go. And then last year, that moving in November and dropping temps for those 2 weeks, I think that may have played a decent role in getting her to cycle.
Okay.
But I also do cycle feeding. So I feed kind of a little bit heavier during the summertime, and then I slow them down during the winter. And I don't know. There's so many different factors. Who's to say that, any one factor is any better than any other, because, there's such a small sample size of people who are getting clutches right like ever that there's just all these different things that have to line up, and I'm just looking at the stuff that I'm doing and then trying to look at the stuff that Stephen Cush is doing, because he's been really successful. And then I think he said he did 3 clutches of Barnecks this year, and I was like, dude, that is incredible. So now whenever anyone is like, hey Rob, are you selling your Barnecks, I'm like, go talk to Stephen Cush, go talk to him, he's got more.
That's it. Dude, I can't figure it out. So like when I bred my Southerns, it was like 4 years ago. That was in a 4x2.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you know, and I had them together in there on and off, paired them in, 4x2, and they did their thing. So now I'm like, everything must be bigger. I have to have massive, and snakes are bigger, right? So I did the thing. Anybody who follows me knows, like, my cages are linked. And basically what that is just I take a clean out, I drill through the cage, I link the cages with a clean out that's like used in plumbing, and then they can do a portal up and down. They just want to be in their own cages. Is what I found, because I had 2.2 with full access to each other year round, and I'm telling you, 95% of the time each snake picked its own cage and stayed there. They would crawl up and down like at night a little bit, but every morning it's back to your own spot.
Back where they're comfortable at. I think that people have found success with that using the link cages for like white lips and stuff. But I think that scrubs are just a little different when it comes to all that stuff. I'm not saying that it won't work. I just from what I've seen, I just think that pairing might work. Pairing like you do a lot of other stuff.
But, that's what I got it from Chuck, because Chuck Poland bred his
Halmaheras.
And he did it with the linked cages.
But he also said that his spend a lot of time together. Like, he's like, I see them together all the time. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah. So anyway, for anyone out there wondering, I don't think the link cages works. I agree with Rob. What I'm going to do this year is I'm going to have one pair that can stay together that's linked, and I have one pair that's separated that I'll do introductions for, and I'm just going to do both. So we'll see.
Yeah. I bred mine. Yeah, pretty much. I bred Janet in a 4x2 if for what it's worth. So she was not in that the whole time. I had her in a 3-foot cage for like when I first moved down here. And then as soon as I got 4-foot cages, I was like, boom, right in there. Which again goes against conventional wisdom. People are like, you got to have them set up the same way for 5 years straight and you can't change anything. And it's like, I don't know. I think that if you have a well-established animal, I don't think that, if you bounce them around constantly, but I think that, if you know your animal well, because I knew, I was in a kind of a unique situation where when I was at Nerd, I had access to the ultrasound. So I was able to ultrasound her all the time. And, I would do it like maybe once a month and just see where her follicle development was at. And the year before I left, she literally went up to 37, 38 millimeter follicles, which is like, should be eggs basically. Like it should be going to produce eggs, and it just never happened. And, but it was in that same time frame, that same April, May-ish time frame. And then, this year I did not have the ultrasound. I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants, so to speak, but I knew that's when her cycle time was. That's when she was generally going into that cycle. So I just paired when I knew things were going to happen, and things happened. So I know.
Congratulations, man. That's a huge accomplishment. I was so fucking proud of you when I saw that. That was cool. That was cool.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I know I can't have a Janet baby, but I'll take a Janet shirt.
Yeah. Hey, it's the next best thing. Until I've told people, I've had probably 50 or 60 people message me trying to see if I'm letting any go. And I'm like, look, this is my first clutch of scrubs. This is my first clutch of barnacks. I've been raising this snake in particular for 10 years. And like, I'm not planning on having kids. Janet is like my baby, man. Like I have been waiting a long time for these babies, and there's only 10 of them. So like, even if it's just for the first couple of years to keep them and just kind of get to know them and really get to enjoy them. I have that. And then also I've got places where I want them to go if they're going to go anywhere, like I've kind of got a plan for if I do let any go. I know that I'm trading one to somebody for different bloodlines. But I still haven't even sexed them. I literally was just going to wait until they get a little bit of size on them, and then I'll go through and sex them and see what the sex ratio is. Cause when I breed all the other snakes, as soon as they come out of the egg, I want to pop them and just get it over with. Yeah. So they have a traumatic experience of being born, and then a traumatic experience of me sexing them. And then don't mess with them for 3 weeks. Right. I just want to get it all over with. But the scrubs, I was like, man, when I saw those babies in the egg box, I was like, oh my God, I don't want you to hate me at all. So I'm just going to wait and then build a rapport with you. And then one day you'll get black bagged for a second and we'll sex him and then right back into the enclosure, you know?
Sheesh. Meanwhile, like I'm over here when those babies hatch, I'm like, have you sexed him yet? He's like, no. I'm like, dude, you gotta know, man.
I'm really afraid that it's gonna be all boys. If it's
That's
all
what
boys,
I'm saying.
I'll be heartbroken.
Like, you'll have enough girls to build your group with. And
yeah. As long as there's a couple girls.
One more girl is still building, you know.
So I've got that other strong female that I'm raising right now, the smaller one, but she's still only like maybe 6 foot long now. So she's still really small. She's probably 2 or 3 years out from being able to breed it, like at the earliest. I've had her now for 1.5 years, 2 years ish, I think. But when did Florida ban their scrubs? Was that 2 years ago or is that
2 years ago?
2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years ago. So yeah, I got it just before then because I got it from a guy in Florida who he was like, hey, I have a small scrub collection. They're banning them, so I can't have them. Somebody pointed me to you. I've got a captive bred baby barneck. And I was like, captive bred baby barneck, you say? And I took it out of the bag and the thing was like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
I was like, no, don't want to kill me.
Well, there's clearly a major difference between captive bred and wild caught stuff.
Yeah,
I mean it's night and fucking day. Because I mean my young stuff, my Waminas and my Malukas, I mean I don't even need a hook, I don't need a tap on them, I don't need to do nothing. I just walk in there, grab them like a freaking corn snake, and they're fine. You know.
That's kind of how Janet is. I literally don't use a hook, and since she's a captive bred baby. She's from Prada line, and when she was a baby, I was like, I want her to be friendly. She was never like really aggressive or anything. But what I would do is when I go into her enclosure, I just take my hat, I just lay it over the top of her, just like super gentle, and then I can just scoop her up. And as long as I do that, even at nighttime, I can just like scoop her right up, take her right out. But during the daytime, I could probably just reach in there and just pick her up. But that's just kind of how I've always worked with her the whole time.
I was told my male 12 gauge is from Prada line, but I definitely can't prove it. And it's so word of mouth, so many generations removed from the guy that would actually know the truth that I don't call this the first time I've ever said it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I bought him from Triple L Reptile, who got it from a zookeeper at the San Diego Zoo, who had it as a pet for 9 years.
Damn.
You know, but I don't know who that zookeeper is. You know, so you know, when some Triple L kid tells me, I heard it was Prada line, I'm okay.
You're like, okay, you Googled scrub python, you saw Prada line, you're like, oh, that sounds expensive. I'm gonna put that.
Right, exactly.
Bro. Yeah. Do you want to do super chat stuff?
Yeah, I was gonna hit some supers. Yep. Sam about 420 says, Rob has the best grandma GF ever.
Yep.
Rob needs 2 ASMR scrub videos.
So I really want to do some scrub videos. I just
need help.
Whenever I whenever I want to do videos, I'm like, I kind of want to go herping right now. Like,
oh my gosh.
So maybe I should do some scrub videos now because it is winter time and I can, there's going to be some time where it's too cold to go herping. So, cause during the summertime, anytime I've got like a couple extra hours, I'm like, I got to get in the woods. I got to go find something. I got to go catch something.
True. That's true.
It's about time for me to take Gypsy out because Gypsy, my southern girl, it's not fun, dude. I mean, it is fun to work with her for me, but like not for her, you know, like she does not want human interaction, and like she's serious about it. Like she does not like it. And she's big now, dude. She's big. I mean, she's 11, 12 foot southern. And but it's probably been a year since I've held her.
Yeah.
You know, because again, I have them with the separate cages. So as soon as she goes up into the one cage, I close it off. I clean the bottom one, and then one, whatever. So I'm just, opportunistically clean her cage basically, and leave her the hell alone, and we have a good understanding, and it's fine. But
no shame in that, man. No shame in that.
I got to do a video with that little barnack because she's the same way. Like the second that a hand, like your skin touches her, she starts peeing, and I'm like, "Come on, we got to get over this." Like, I really have tried to be hands off with her as much as I can for the last like 2 years since I got her. I was like, I just really want you to just see me, get used to me, but it's not happening. And I'm like, okay, well now I'm gonna have to like actually work on. Now when I take her out, she pees all over the place and she'll take like 3 or 4 swings at me and then she calms down. But that's better than before when she was like, I'm gonna murder you, and she was just like that the whole time that she's out. I'm like, come on, man.
I'm just glad Gypsy and I are in a place that I don't have to put paper over her cage for me to be in the room and spend time with her, because you know there was a good 6 or 8 months when I first got her to where she would just, you know, like and if my wife, dude, I had her in a closet at the time, and it was our walk-in closet. So like all my wife's clothes are right here, and then the scrubs are right here, and she'd walk in the closet and just boom. She's all pregnant and shit. Oh man, that was gosh. We're not there anymore, thankfully.
Oh man, our buddy Randy is here. He says Wheeler is the man. He's got some killer Amazons too. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some Amazons. That's
Randy's so cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And his episode was awesome.
Bro, man. I was super geeked about that episode. I was like, it's been a hot minute since I've talked to Amazon tree boas, and I almost forgot how cool they are. Like,
oh man,
your reds are some of the best around, dude.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
they're so good, man. The red with the white and the just it looks like candy, like snake candy. That's what I want, you know. And I have a red. She is not as pretty as yours. You know, but if you do breed those, because I have, you know, a lot of tiger stuff, so I'm going to try to do red to tiger too. I would love an opportunity to get a female from you when you eventually lay. Your snakes are, I have to have one of those. So if you do get a red,
heck yeah.
Dude, and seeing them in person, just like it's hard to catch a lot of that color in like a cell phone picture, because there's just like there's so much dynamic coloration on them that just isn't picked up by the camera. I don't know how to describe it.
How are the attitude on yours? Because I think everybody really overreacts and blows out.
Yes.
I mean, we're sitting here talking shit on scrubs a second ago. Oh my God. But the majority of those are actually pretty cool too. So yes, people overreact when it comes to scrubs. Totally still respect scrubs, but you don't have to respect Amazons.
Oh man,
it's just like this big mouth. There's nothing behind it. It's just the mouth coming at you.
Oh.
Yeah,
and it's slow. It's like slow motion. Like,
it's very slow.
You know,
yeah. Like man,
you are slow if you get hit by your Amazon.
Seriously. I've got like two or three that just for no reason want to kill you every second they can. Out of the 15 that I have, though, I'll take 2 or 3 pissy ones, you know.
Sure.
What I've learned though is it's funny because I don't know if you saw the video that Marshall Mendez put up, that crazy bicolor tiger that he's got.
Bro, oh my God.
Dude, she's freaking nuts. But he was commenting on how she doesn't really strike, but when you go into the enclosure, she comes right up to see what the heck you're doing, and then just sits there and then is like, oh, all right, you're fine.
It's
fine.
Not food.
And then just goes about her business. I've got one of my tiger girls does that exact same thing. Like maybe 1 out of every 20 times she'll actually take a pop, but the rest of it's just like, what are you doing? You got a mouse? No? All right, cool.
Back in the log,
and then
right?
right back in the hide, like there's no problems. But yeah, it's funny because I mean I think we all remember all the years ago, it's like, these evil snakes, they just want to bite everything. They're terrible. And now it's like No, man, they're not that bad. Although I do get a kick out of trying to put them back into those enclosures, and they strike at the heat panel because it's got a heat signature.
Yeah, it's hot. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're not that smart, but it's okay.
So it's funny that we're talking about scrubs because I'm always like, oh, scrubs are so smart, and like you never see them chewing on a hook like a retic does or doing stupid stuff like that. And then I look at Amazon Tribos and I'm like, I love you guys, but oh my god, you're dumb as rocks. You are so dumb. They're so anything that's warm, they'll bite it. Like I've literally seen them bite light bulbs and stuff. I'm like, oh, there's nothing. You don't have
nothing
any
there.
brain cells.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. There's nothing there, and there's nothing there. It's a match made in heaven.
I'm just saying, I've never seen a scrub do that before. So,
have either of you guys kept emerald tree boas?
I've worked with them at Nerd and a couple other places, but I've never personally kept them.
Yeah, I've kept them for a short period of time, but most of my experience with them was at Nerd too.
How were they? So tell me about the Northern collection at Nerd, because I'm excited because you guys know, but nobody else knows. Yeah, I just purchased a pair of Northern Emeralds from Nerd, and they've got some captive bred ones left on the website that I don't know how they're still there. Honestly, at the price point they're at, dude, they're like $1,000 to $1,200, and those should be gone. It's weird that there's any left at all, but
I think it's the time of year, honestly.
Yeah, I think I think it's just the time of year. Yeah. So those babies. Well, okay. I'll just say, having been up to Nerd as much as I have in the last 5 months, Kevin's got a problem, and that is
too many tree boas.
Yeah, he will just buy all of the tree boas he can. But you know what? I mean, I think it's awesome between the Basins and the Northerns. I think it's wonderful. He spends a lot of time with those animals. A lot of the Northerns are originally imported animals or were long-term captive animals, so they're kind of the typical Northern. Like, just don't touch it. It's going to be a bad day if you go to touch that animal. But I'll say, like, his Basins, even though Basins are known to be a little more on the chill side, to watch him take out, like a massive female Basin and just like go right up to its face and just start petting its head and it doesn't give a crap. I'm like, damn, dude, that's kind of awesome, man. I can't lie.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wasn't about to throw down Basin money.
All right. Yeah, no.
I had some Northern money. All right.
Yeah.
there are levels to this shit. And
that's true.
I'm not there yet.
That's true. Yeah.
Once you breed the Northerns, then you get Basin money.
Yeah. You sell a whole litter of Northerns to afford the one Basin. It's perfect how that works.
I'm just excited to be keeping whatever I want.
Yes, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
And like I stopped thinking about it as a business. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to breed snakes. I'm going to sell snakes. But I used to be like, I am Morelia House. I can only have carpet pythons.
Yeah.
And then after like a decade, you're like, okay, there's more stuff that I need to keep.
Yep.
Yep.
And, so I have a pet retic now.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pet. I don't think I'm going to breed it. I don't think I'm going to pair it, but I have a albino golden child that I'm fan
of. Okay.
And her name is Peaches. Her name is Peaches.
Yes.
And I love Peaches. She's so freaking sweet.
She's like a lavender albino or a purple albino? Purple, of course. Yeah.
Dude, she's probably the most loved snake in my house right now. She comes out every single night. She's out every night.
Yeah.
Every night. I handle that snake 7 days a week unless I fed it.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
It's cool. Like, crawls all over the bed. My son hangs out. Like, the dogs I'm trying to train the dogs, not to go next to it. I'm using the retic to, do that. And I'm just excited. I'm just at this point in my life, knowing that I have a job that's going to pay for the things that I need to do, and that this is a hobby and I can have fun. I am just having fun.
That is the best way to do it ever, because then there's no pressure on it. It doesn't end up feeling like it's too much work, when you especially when you put yourself in this box, you're like, okay, I'm only going to do this. It can really get to you when you start to see other cool stuff. And you're like, well, I only do this. I'm over. This is my thing. I think that a lot of people get stuck in that, like, oh, I keep snakes, I'm only going to keep snakes. But look at like Eric Burke when he got some of his little monitors around. He's like, oh, holy shit! Opens up his whole dude. You could hear it in his voice how like
he started a monitor
he
podcast
got.
Immediately.
Yeah. Once he
just
gets
so he can listen to it, he's not even
exactly.
on it.
While he's editing, he's like, I'm working right now. What are you talking about? He's like just secretly enjoying all of it.
Absolutely.
But when you get to like just branch out and like, you know, broaden your horizons a little bit, it definitely opens you up to so much more enjoyment when it comes to reptiles, because I think people take it a little too serious sometimes, and they're like, well, I'm a ball python breeder, I breed ball pythons, and I'm like, well, why don't you like keep maybe one other species and just see how you like it? And they're like, oh, well, that's taking up rack space for this. And I'm like, well, come on, man. One tub, just one little tub. Get a corn snake, get a palmetto corn snake, and tell me what you like about it, man. Because when you see a palmetto corn snake that's 2.5 foot long, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you don't like snakes, you will fall in love with it. You're like, oh my God, it's a piece of funfetti rope that's hanging out in front of me right now. This thing's incredible.
Oh man.
Oh, Jeremy, I noticed you got the hypo stripe, Reptiles.
Oh yeah, I have some hypo stripe stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I so good old Nick Mutton. I had gotten I got a Poss Het. This is when we were still at Nerd. I got a Poss Het G stripe.
Yeah.
Female. And I was like, oh man, you know, as soon as it came in, I'm like, this thing's gonna prove it's got all the right markers, you know. So I'm like, I gotta do it. I just gotta do it. So I'm like, I'll just get one from Nick. So, you know, I go on his website and then I reach out to him. Worst thing.
3 hours later.
Yeah, literally 3 hours later. Right. I'm like, as soon as I got the response, which was, are you getting back into Brettles pythons? I should have capped it right there. He's like, nope, I just need one. That's it. Shut up. Take my money. And what it became was, well, listen, man, I'm kind of inundated with Brettles pythons. I bred way too many, and if you want more than that, I'll hook you up. And I'm like, oh. So we discussed a percentage, and I'm like, all right, Nick, I'll call you back in an hour. So then I'm scrolling through the website, and I'm like, okay, I want this, maybe this.
Is it 2 years old?
Yes. Yep.
Is there any chance I produced it, or did Lucas? Any idea?
Bum bum bum.
Well, because we did breeding loans with the hypo stripe stuff. So like, because I produce hypo stripes, but it's with Nick snakes, right? So
right.
Nick snakes. So, you know, I sent them back to Nick, and Lucas produced hypo stripes as well. Again, Nick snakes. So it was breeding loans. I'm just wondering.
I didn't ask.
You got it from. They might be mine. I sent him. I think I sent him 5 or 4, something like that. So I'll go back in the records, because there's a minute possibility it's one of mine, but I don't know that for sure, because it might not be. There was a couple clutches.
Heck yeah. I'll have to go back through the records and see. I've got it written down somewhere what those clutch numbers were, and if you know what he happened to label them as, then we can figure it out.
It says it should say my name on the chart. He was really great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he gave me credit on the lineage chart that he did.
Bam.
Which
Okay.
Super cool of him to do, by the way, because he didn't even do that. And I've got a lot of respect and love for Nick. He's a great guy.
Oh yeah, dude. I love talking to Nick. I want to have him on the podcast, but we only do an hour.
Yeah, we only do an hour. So.
That means we have to have him on for episode 200, because we'll do another 2-hour episode, and then we'll be like, we're gonna talk about one thing with Nick, and you get 2 hours. So
or we can do a 2 or 3 hour podcast, and we'll just break it up into segments. So we'll have 3 weeks of podcasts lined up, and we'll just be like, every hour we'll be like, Nick, hold on for 1 second. Okay, so that's the end of episode 1. Like,
we just got to do this outro. Hang on.
Yeah. We'll tune in. We'll tune back in next week.
Just mute yourselves, walk away, and just let you talk.
Dude, so you want to know what's funny? I'll tell the story real quick, and then I got to run our ad break. When Steve Tillis and I first started this podcast, and we wanted to have Kevin on, I was like, oh, dude, this is gonna be the easiest podcast ever, because back then we could only do 45 minutes. And he's like, well, why? Like, I've got all these questions, and I'm like, don't worry about it.
Nah.
Pick the one question you really want answered. And he's like, I don't understand. And I'm like, you will.
You will.
You will. And sure as shit, it was ask the question, and then bam, Kev was off to the races, and the podcast was done. It was done, man. Oh my gosh. On that note, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break for our sponsorship ad. We'll be right back, guys. Black Box Cages, located in Buford, Georgia, is your one-stop shop for all of your caging and rack needs. Owners Jen and Clint are at the helm of this fantastic company. With one of the shortest lead times in cage and rack manufacturing, Black Box can satisfy anyone's needs. From baby racks to V70s, arboreal and terrestrial caging to deep-fronted bioactive enclosures. You can find everything you need right here. New enclosure sizes and products are added frequently to their availability, so be sure to check back often. Black Box Cages have tons of customizing options for lighting and heating. Along with that, cages and racks can be stacked with metal stacking dowels, and all cage joints are dadoed for improved durability and stability. Most cage units are flat packed, but are pre-assembled prior to shipping to ensure a solid build every time. The Micro, XC18, XT3, Bio-G, and 3-stack V70 ship assembled, and all other racks are shipped freight and assembled. The XR16 and XR20 model racks allow keepers to mix and match tubs. Fitting both Vision and Freedom Breeder tubs, you can mix the V15, V18, and V35S tubs, or the FB5, FB8, and FB35CV SC tubs. This kind of flexibility allows keepers to raise their animals from hatchling to juvenile or subadult size before needing to upgrade into adult caging. Don't just take our word for it. Go to their website to see countless customer reviews and review videos from keepers all over. To learn more about Black Box Cages, follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Black Box Cages, and of course their website, www.blackboxcages.com. Links to their socials and website will be available in the podcast description. Boom. So you guys know the deal. Go check out blackboxcages.com. They're always trying to post new inventory on their website. They're always trying to innovate and expand on products. So make sure you check them out frequently.
I'm pretty sure they only have a 2-minute. Those guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, their product is great.
Well, dude, here's the deal. If I'm going to sell you a snake and it's your first snake and you maybe have, you don't know what cage to buy and you got a little 10-gallon, whatever. And I'm like, no. We need to get you set up. Dude, I don't have 2 months to wait to ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Gets to the person that I'm trying to sell it to. Okay. I want them set up. I want them set up right. And I want it to boom, boom, boom. So, I'll send people to Black Box and dude, their cages are there in like a week.
Yep. 2-week turnaround time.
It's insane. It's
they're,
awesome.
They are so on it. And I know, what we really need to do this, Rob. You and I got to take that trip down to Georgia because I wanted to do a YouTube video on their shop. They're right in Buford, Georgia, and I usually am in that area a good amount. I want to be able to show people like what it's like at a cage building factory, manufacturing facility, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, the cages are awesome. The people are great, and you're not waiting for a year. I mean,
yeah,
you can't go wrong.
When I heard that some people were ordering from
these were like a 5-month lead time.
Damn.
Yeah.
And the guy said 30 days when I bought him. Love you. I'm not going to name call you right now. I'm not going to call you. Thank you, but bro.
For real.
Yep. Oh man,
it's crazy that's just like the norm when it comes to enclosure builders. Like, come on, man, 5 months. Like, AP has got like a 8-month to a year lead time. Like, what? Who? What? What is that? Stop taking orders if you have an 8-month lead time. come on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool as the industry has expanded, right? We see more and more businesses pop up, and it's cool to see. Like I've got friends at AP and stuff, so it's cool to see those people get to a point where it's like, man, like some competition. While we want to be able to build every cage, a little competition actually might be okay, because there's so many people that want cages, and you get these other companies that pop up, and when you get people that end up coming in and doing it right, like Black Box has done, so many other people as well. I mean, it's great. It's just great to see. And I mean, the same thing goes for like shipping reptiles. There's so many different companies for shipping reptiles because it's such a needed thing, right? And people go with who they want to go with, and that's totally cool. Doesn't matter as long as the companies that I think there's 4 major companies that are out right now, and they've all got really good, I mean, the boxes are all the same thing all the way through, right?
Pretty much.
But it just becomes like who you end up clicking with, right? Like, oh, I clicked with Chad, I clicked with Robin, I clicked with Debbie, I clicked, whoever. It's who cares? Just ship your damn snakes. If you're selling them, if you're still selling snakes, congratulations. Sales are horrible.
Well, and it's funny because like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go Van Pomona tomorrow, guys. I have like 7 snakes for sale.
Oh man! Hey, you want me to send you some? I'll send you some extras.
I've got 3 Pop-One carpets that are gonna go with me. I've got 2 Amazons, and I've got hypo stripe Rettles and a pos head stripe, hypo pos head stripe, and a jungle. That's it. That's the whole. But you know what? Whatever. I would have had more, but I got hit up last night, and somebody bought a pair of Amazons off me. So now I'm only bringing 2.
Hey,
there you go.
Sales of sales.
Are there any Aussie species that I would want to have? Oh, yes. I love it.
So Amy's from Australia too. So this matters. This really matters.
Yes. Okay. So obviously the 2 main ones I would want are the 2 main ones that we can't have, right? The 3, the Owen Pelly, the King Horny, and the Southwestern carpet.
Embricata.
Yeah, we can't have those. So I would love to be able to have any of those. Out of the 3, the Owen Pelly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
dude.
Yeah, definitely.
They're so unique looking.
I wonder how long until they make it here.
I mean, they've been bred in captivity now, so it's only a matter of time.
I'm sure it'll happen. I mean, it's gonna happen, and it'll probably be legally through the zoo trade, and then whatever. Everybody kind of know. There's the maybe there's black holes here and there. Whatever. It'll eventually happen.
Yeah.
And when it does, I got money.
He's like, I might not have Basin money, but I will have Owen Pelly money.
I will have Owen Pelly money. Absolutely. Oh man.
I'm so curious to see what they look like in person, dude.
I know,
real.
Right? Yeah, man.
They just look so interesting.
I can just see it now, like Owen Pelly's hit the market at one point here in the U.S. in the future, and you just see all the Aussie guys start throwing up GoFundMe pages.
Yep,
I need my dream snake. Yeah. Oh man,
I feel like everyone would donate $10 to see Eric Burke or Owen get a pair of Owen Pelly.
I was gonna say I would start a GoFundMe just for Eric.
Exactly.
Just so Eric can have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So are there any other Aussie species that you would like outside of those ones, or no?
I pretty much have all the ones that I can keep that I want. It would be monitors. Only because like I feel like I have my snake fixed. Like if I want to get it, like I figured out, how to get there. But I don't have the time to do monitors.
True.
I really don't. And you can't leave them like you can snakes.
Yep.
And that's why I don't have any monitors, and that's a bummer, dude. I was over it was funny. So I work in plumbing as a living, right? And that's what I do. sewer pipelining, and there was a sewer backup at Reef and Reptile, which is a reptile shop here in San Diego. So property manager calls me out to Reef and Reptile this morning to go camera the sewer line. Mike, the owner, he opens the door, for the plumber, and it's me. And, obviously I've known Mike for a long time. And he's like, dude, what? Sweet. So, I spent I was there for like 2 hours, probably did 15 minutes of plumbing. And then the rest of the time, he hadn't opened yet. We were just playing with our animals. We had some Kimberly rock monitors there.
Oh,
freaking rad.
Yes.
And,
yes,
such a cool, he had these, these anyway. So probably Kimberly's.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Dude. I love Kimberly rock monitors. I love Pilbara's too, but Kimberly's have a very special place in my heart. But if I ever do monitors, I need a bells. I need one of those, like the super bells that are just like clean white, clean black. I need one of those. I just want to spend a whole bunch of time with it and get it super friendly.
I thought you were going to say, I just want to spend a whole lot of money.
No, I don't want to spend a whole lot of money. I just want to spend a lot of time with it, and I want it to be my best friend. So that, like, have you seen what is it? The one's its name is Motley, and the girl's Instagram name is We Speak in Forked Tongues, and it's just this like crazy high white bells, and she just opens up the enclosure and he just climbs right out and climbs right up to her. I'm like, oh my god, man, I'm in love with that lizard. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I've had a long-standing love affair with lace monitors, and I got to finally meet one when Kevin got some at Nerd, and I was just like, oh my god, this thing's incredible. I really need to go visit John Adragna and play with some of his, because he's got some really nice ones.
Millennium monitors are dope too.
Ooh,
yes. I had one for probably 3 years, and super underrated, underrepresented monitor species. Millenniums are dope, man. Those are cool. Great medium-sized lizard, can be super friendly, really smart. You know what I mean? You can keep it, and it can be your friend.
Exactly.
That's cool. Some of the more dwarf monitors, I don't really know that well, but I don't get the same level of interaction.
You can't.
No.
That's why I think it's so funny that Ackies are so popular, because Ackies are miserable monitors. They just are horrible. They're terrible. Like they run like crazy. They don't want to be near you. And then 2, if it's red Ackies, they bite, and they bite hard, bro.
Really?
I do not. Yes, they do. If you talk to anyone who's got like any number of red Ackies, they will tell you that they are just not a friendly monitor. So like when people are like, what's a good starter monitor? And they're like, Ackies. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it.
No.
Do not do it. It's not going to be your friend.
I started with a Nile. That was my starter monitor was a Nile. And I had her for 7 years. I had her for a long time.
Well, when you start there, everything else is friendly. So
that's pretty true.
I'm a glutton for punishment, man.
Oh man, that was like the theme for me with big lizards. When I wanted a tegu, I wanted a black and white tegu, couldn't afford it. Ended up getting the Colombian golden tegu. Yeah, man.
Sucker.
Wanted an Asian water monitor, couldn't afford that. Got the Nile monitor.
Sucker.
Like, dude, so bad. And I love those animals to death, but man, listen, man. If you want the real thing, that's my advice. That's my advice today. If you want the real thing, fucking save and get it.
Get it. Yeah,
what you're saying is I should have got the basins.
Yeah.
No, honestly, dude. Well, I don't know. If you want to be best friends with them, yes, you should have. But if you, I think honestly, what I think when it comes to the Northerns is if you start when they're small and build a rapport with them, I think that you can get them to be tractable. I don't think they'll be as tractable as a basin, but I think you can get them to be workable, much more workable than wild caught ones. For real, there's no comparison when it comes to basins, man. I literally worked with a whole ton of basins when I was at Nerd, and I maybe only had 2 that I ever had to like keep an eye out for. All the rest of them, I could literally go right in and touch the top of their head, and they would just
They didn't
look
care.
at you, tongue flick. They would come right, like I could literally put my hand out like this, and they would tongue flick and come down to my hand and check out what's going on. I could literally just scoop them right up off the perch, and they were great. And there were some northerns where you could hook them out and then handle them, but you still had to hook them out because there was even during the day they would take a swing at you, and those teeth, you do not want to, I don't want to get hit by those teeth.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh God.
I'm
I
ready,
think you'll like
bro.
them.
I'm ready.
I would say the one thing is for perching with them, make sure that you got thin perches. That's my one bit of advice for any sort of emerald. Make sure you got thin perches. They prefer it, and they digest better when they've got thin perches.
How do you guys feel about with the babies, over water versus paper starting out? I mean, obviously humidity is key, but I mean, do you like the starting over water process? Is that what you would, I assume you've worked with enough young ones in your day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the overwater technique. I think it's the trick. I mean, it'd be the same thing if you were just using a water dish. The trick is making sure that there's water. Don't let that evaporate or get too thin. But also
change it out regularly.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's no bacteria or anything that ends up festering in there. I think the bacteria element is your biggest risk.
Yeah.
In doing that. Especially if they poop all the way in the back, catch that right away and it's sitting there for a day or two, not great if then they go down and try to drink it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see a problem with that at all. I know a lot of people in the arboreal community that do that to start. So.
And then if you use paper, I'd either use paper towels, or if you're going to use newspaper, add some damp sphagnum moss in one half of the tub. So it gives that little humidity spike. It really does help out. I've seen some people do it where they do it around the water dish so that it helps keep that area extra humid. But I just noticed that during shed cycles that can really help as long as the ventilation's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as long as we get the humidity on point, we can kind of go either way with the water bottom or the bowl bottom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I'm so glad I have you guys. This is great. I'm getting my first
reverse podcast.
I know. So, okay, so with these babies, mice or rats?
I don't remember what Kev said he started them on.
They're on hopper mice now. I'm just wondering, switch to rats now or later?
I honestly, you can keep them on mice their whole life, pretty much. I try not to go too crazy big with the meals. They have a tough time digesting it because of the way that their stomachs are set up. If they're not looped appropriately over the perch, it doesn't allow it to fully digest, and parts of it can get messed up, which is what I tend to see when people use really big perch, the really wide perches. The way that their stomach is set up, especially if they eat something that's a little bit bigger. That's one of the things that back in the day I would see people would mess up all the time, is that they would get these big, thick branch perches that look really cool, but they would give an adult emerald, a northern emerald is probably going to be 3.5, 4 foot long. And they would give it a small, medium rat, and it would just be super bloated. It would be kind of tilting on the top a little bit where you see where the stomach hangs, and then also it's bloated up onto the top of the perch, and it would just either start regurgitating or it would throw it up
like that.
Yeah. So I think that
the chondro like that.
Yeah. I think that if you use the thinner perches, you run less of a risk of doing that, and also smaller meals than what most people anticipate. Since they're more of a sedentary animal, I think that they utilize their calories a lot better than a lot of the more active species. So you don't really need to go crazy with feeding them. And this is just me as someone who doesn't regularly keeping them, but just watching a lot of people keep them over the years. Just the things that I've observed is that they utilize calories really well, and they don't do well with super giant meals. Like baby Amazon tree boas, you can start them on rat pinks. I've literally seen people start like these little shoelace tree boas on like fresh day old rat pinks, and they slam them, digest them, and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Whereas like the emeralds, I think they just need a little bit more care size wise when it comes to their prey items, because adult emeralds, literally you can keep them on adult like XL mice or whatever, the large
big jumbo retire
mice.
breeders.
Yeah, you can keep them on that, and that is plenty to sustain them and do well. A lot of the people who I see swap them to rats. It just, you run more of a risk of one, gaining fat, because the rats that are small enough for an emerald to eat are still usually on milk, or they're just coming off of having milk, so that is really high fat, and since they use up all their calories and utilize the food as much as they do, it could, I think that personally it contributes to like fatty liver disease and them just getting overweight because they're not a super active snake in general. And then when you are working with mice or feeding the mice, adult mice are going to have a more more bone structure to them, and they're going to have a little bit better nutrients depending on what they're being fed and stuff like that. So in my opinion, I would not worry about stressing to get them over on rats. If they're eating hopper mice right now, I would keep them on that, like, small hoppers or whatever. If they're still red, they should be taking like, large fuzzies or really small hoppers, something around that size.
Oh, dude, I forgot. I sent you a jungle carpet. How's that doing?
Dude, it's mint. I love, man, I was never a crazy like jungle person. Like I was like, I don't know why. I just always looked at them and I was like, oh, they're cool. They're black and yellow. And then like when I saw that dude in Australia who has the those really more black ones than yellow, I was like, oh man, those things are freaking cool. And I was like, what can I do? And I was just like, I saw that when you posted it, I was like, oh my god, that thing's freaking awesome. And so the jungles, I've always been into the West Papuan carpets, like way before I was into carpets, but the jungles is kind of new to me, or newer to me, so I'm just like, I'm enjoying them. They're cool.
Is the yellow popping pretty good on the one I sent you?
Bro, yes. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I think that it's interesting to see the like size that they start to get color compared to the West Papuans when they get their color. And then also, I mean, watching Jeremy's Brettles and stuff, just seeing each of them has a different point when they really start to show and really start to get into their stride. And I think that's super interesting, because with like bloods, it's just like, oh, once it hits 2 years old, you usually start to see some color grade. But with the jungles, I feel like they get it way younger than bloods or short tails,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Cool. I want to see a picture, man. You got to post an update picture of that one.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Let's see it.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
So what are you planning on pairing this season? Are you taking it easy, going hard, or 2
diamond pairings? Which that's fun because they're in an outside setup, right? And that they're okay. I did pull them inside about 2 weeks ago, and I'll probably put them back out. Just this whole storm cycle, dude. And like, it's not that it's getting too cold at night. It's that it's not getting warm enough during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm not worried about the fact that it's 40 degrees at night. They can roll at 40 degrees at night. All freaking no problem, but they need to be able to heat up properly. So like I did put a heat panel in there, like in a hide that's outside on thermostat and stuff like that, that I have set to like 5 hours a day. It kicks up to 85 degrees. But the problem with that is they never came out to bask because they were just content with that 5 hours of heat that they got from the panel. And I'm like, well, that's, the whole reason I have them outside is so they'll come out and do this naturally. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I brought them inside. They'll be back outside as soon as it makes sense. Once I'm seeing weather back in the high 70s again, I'll put them back outside.
Dude, have you temp gunned their surface temp like on their bodies while they're out there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
What do you see them sit at?
It just, well, I mean, I'm 60 at night.
Yeah.
You know, like something like that. But during the day, I mean, they'll heat up, and this was more like summertime. You know what I mean? Like while it's been underneath the heat panel, that's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
You know? Right now, it's it doesn't really matter. But yeah, they will retain heat much longer than you would think that they would.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sure.
On some of the colder days that we've had it when we found snakes, I'm temp gunning them, and I'm like, damn man, it's like 50 degrees out, and I temp gun like a black rat snake, and its body temperature is at like 85, 86 degrees, and I'm like, bro, what the heck is it? Because like you don't think that it, like the air just feels cold, but because their body's so dark, it just absorbs that heat. And I remember when we went to Jeremy, when we went to Tom Crutchfield's place, he was talking about temp gunning his diamonds when it was like, I don't remember what he was like. It was like 50 or 60 degrees out there, and he's I see my diamonds basking, and they're sitting at like almost 100 degrees, their body temp.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's like, they're just chilling.
Now you're going to make me go temp them night of the day. That's just cool.
Yeah. The next time that you put them out, even on a cooler day, I'm just curious to see what they sit at, because when he told me that they were sitting at 100 degrees, I was like, dude, that makes me think like I would just be panicked. I would be thinking that they're going to die. And he's like, bro, they just do their own thing. They're so like used to the way that the planet cycles where they're from that they just truck right through it. And it's just like, it was the coolest thing, man.
That is cool.
And they were like this big.
So doing the diamonds, doing a couple jungle pairings, and then really just the Barnecks and the Southerns. I mean, that's really it for this year. Next year, the rough scales will be big enough. Next year, the ivories will be big enough. Next year, the gelatins will be big enough.
Hell yeah.
Probably go for inlands. But yeah, this year I'm really shooting only for 5-6 clutches. If I can do 5 or 6 clutches, I'm thrilled. So even just getting half, that'll make me happy. Give me 3 or 4 clutches in a year, I'm cool. That's enough to feed. That's enough to house. That's enough to sell. That's enough to maintain a work family, snake
life
balance. Right. Which is what I'm looking for. So.
And just to reiterate for everybody that may be listening, we're talking with a carpet python person. We're not talking about ball pythons. So don't freak out. 4 to 5 clutches provides a lot more offspring.
Well, how many did you get? How many? Because you produced Bradley this year, didn't you? Or last year?
Yeah, I did. This past year, I did 2 clutches of them. Thank God, because it could have been way worse.
You can accidentally produce a lot.
No, man, it was crazy. I had so I got a group of Brettles pythons before I left Nerd from our buddy Dan Rowe, and they had all originally come from Nick I think it was like most of it was like 2014 animals. And he had this trio. It was a reverse trio of pure hypos. They were like the 2nd gen hypos. And I was like, yeah, like this is awesome. Like that was like the coolest part of that group to me. And it was supposed to be a reverse trio. So I had them all marked, whatever, and I'm pairing one of the males, and nothing's happening. And I'm like, man, I don't understand. So I finally decide to use the other male and see like locked immediately. It just didn't take, thank God. Because then I realized after, I'm like, I don't understand. Like that male was right on it. This other male is not. Like something's not right. I'm like,
it's a girl, wasn't it?
Let me palpate this. Loaded with follicles, and I was like, oh man. Holy crap. So I was like, I should pair it. And then I was like, no, I shouldn't. This could be really bad because these are all like 6-7 foot plus, like big girls. And then the first clutch of Brettles drops from my big het G-stripe girl, like 34 eggs. And I was like, oh man. I hope that one lock makes sure that I hope she doesn't go. She had one lock. I hope she can't go. I can't handle this. So I got that clutch, and then I did a stonewash clutch from a visual to a het, and the het was a smaller female. She gave me like 15 eggs, and I was like, okay, no more. So I'm like palpating extra girls, and I'm like follicles are getting smaller. Okay, all right, we're good. We're in the clear, man. It's like the only time I've ever had that moment. Because then I also had like a clutch. I had 2 clutches of jungles laid. One like was pretty much mostly garbage. But that was another like 15 or 16 eggs. So it's like, man, 4 or 5 clutches. You're talking over 100 babies. Or close to it if you got big girls. It's like absolutely. Shit, man. Like the last time I bred coastals, I think that clutch was like 25 eggs or something like that. And it's like, man, you guys are corn snakes, but cooler. Like, like holy crap, man. But yeah, you can get inundated real quick. So
they're great pets, man. They
really are, dude.
For people to start, for somebody who lives in an apartment that just wants one really cool snake that's going to hang out on a branch, because ball pythons are neat, but everything looks cooler on a branch, right?
Yeah. That's why I keep trying to put my ball pythons on branches and they just keep rolling off.
Didn't you read that study that they eat birds for part of the year, Jeremy?
Yeah. Okay.
They're arboreal.
That's cool. That's
you
cool.
You can put one in a 4x2 if you want. I don't care. If you only have one snake, then why aren't you?
Do what you want. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if it's your pet, it better be in a 4x2 or you kind of suck.
Facts
from black box cages.
Yep. Yes. Even bigger facts. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I think this year I've got I think I'm doing two Brettles pairings, two jungle pairings again, and that's it on the Morelia front. Actually, no, sorry, I lied. 3 Brettles pairings. Because I'm doing the hypos, some stonewash stuff, and then I've got a pair of double het genetic stripe stonewashes that'll be ready this year. So
nice.
Fingers crossed on those. I hope I can hit one.
They look crazy.
Dude,
the stonewash stripe makes like the least sense out of every morph combination ever.
Yeah,
like, it just doesn't make sense.
No, man.
I wish I had a picture of one to put it up right now so people can see what we're talking about, because it's like,
hang on, I'll pull one up.
All right, you got it, because this is like it does not look like what you think it should look like.
I don't think I've seen one of those yet.
Oh, it's wonky as hell.
It really is. Like, dude, so remember when we first saw the genetic stripe clowns?
Yes.
The ball pythons, and we're like, wow, that is not what we expected that to look like at all.
Yeah.
This is exactly what this is.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I gotta find the right.
Can he do it?
I Googled it. Hang on, give me a second.
You Googled it?
I Googled it. I didn't have it ready to pull up.
There's like 2 people in the United States that even have that.
I know. I should have just went right to Inland
Just
Reptile.
go to your messages for Nick Mutton, because I'm sure you asked to see a picture of it at some point.
That's
what I needed. There, that's where my picture's at. But yeah, man.
All right.
Anyway. Oh, I don't know, dude. Yeah. They're cool. I don't think I'm going to be doing Brettles anymore. I don't think I'm going to. Well, I have to, dude. I only have so much space, man.
I hear you.
And I want. I like to change it up. I want to be doing different things. I'm just kind of trying to flow through what I do and have fun doing it. So occasionally, like if there's something new that I'm going to be interested in for a while, I got to let some stuff go. Probably not doing Brettles anymore. Probably not doing Popwoods anymore. What's happening?
I don't know what this is. Why does this pop up here? No, go.
I don't know what that is. One of Nick's pictures. I can tell just by looking at it.
No. Okay. Wait.
Is that a bucket pic?
No, it's a Facebook picture. I don't know what the hell what happened. Okay, hang on.
We're gonna get this.
We are gonna get this. I'm so
well. While Jeremy's struggling, we do have one question that we close out every single show
Ask
with.
the question and shut up.
And that question is whether it be in your own collection or something that you've seen on the internet. Oh, there we go. Wow, that is really
tell me how that makes any sense.
What the heck? So for the people who are audio only, it is a baby Reptiles python. So it is red and like a yellowish tan. And it's got, how do you describe that? It's got like a King Ornai scrub pattern on its back, like the back half of it. And then it's partially striped on the first third and the back third.
It's like a genetic stripe. It's like what happens like if you were looking at a genetic stripe, but then you took acid.
Like it's melting, just like everything's going sideways now.
It's melting.
It's really cool, man. It's
that
really
is weird.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. And then if I can land one, I'll hold it back, and then I want to plug it into some of the hypo stuff as well, and make some double hits from that. So
yeah,
very cool, man.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
What was the question? You started a question. We got excited.
Yeah. So, in the realm of reptiles, whether it be something in your collection or something you've seen online, what has got you excited about reptiles right now?
Emerald tree boas, man.
Boom! That's it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Corallus K9 is. Let's get it.
Yeah. I'll be honest. It's MJ's fault.
Yeah,
because I've been over to MJ's house multiple times and seen all his emeralds, and after it's been tugging at me my whole freaking life that I need emeralds. and going over there now, I'm just like, okay, now I
need one. Yeah,
happening. This is absolutely happening. So yeah, right now definitely emeralds. That's my current shit. So here we go.
Hell yeah. Okay. And man, if people want to follow you and see the things that you're doing, where should they look you up on social media?
Morelia House on Instagram is where I am by far the most active. So Morelia House Instagram. I do have a YouTube page. I don't really use it. It's probably been almost 2 years since I put a video out. And then Facebook, Brandon Wheeler.
Hell yeah. So thank you so much for coming on tonight, man. This has been fun. We'll have to do a part 2 because I feel like there's still more stuff for us to talk about.
Definitely.
Easy.
Definitely.
Hell yeah, man. So thank you for coming on. And Jeremy, do you have what? Hold on, Jeremy, what has got you excited about reptiles right now?
This is finally the week. I'm a little later than I wanted to be, but this is finally the week I start pairing up Amazons. So I'm stoked about that. Hopefully to see the first locks from those for a year. So
good luck, man.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. We need carnage babies.
I want one.
Yeah, we need carnage babies.
Yeah, we need carnage babies.
100%.
Heck yeah. Rob, what about you? You can't not answer this. Come on, man.
I know. But mine has got to be, dude, Matt Somerville from Australia posting those pictures from the Cape. He went herping, and bro, it's baby chondro season, so baby green tree python season, and he was literally posting pictures. He saw so many green trees on this trip.
It was crazy. Yeah,
it was crazy. He saw like dozens of babies and dozens of adults. And the babies were hunting during the daytime, broad day, perched below branches near the bases of plants, hunting skinks. And the adults were hunting at nighttime for whatever the heck is moving around at nighttime.
Yeah.
But literally, the babies, he would find them perched up at night, not moving. And the adults would be perched up during the day, not moving. So they're on opposite cycles of when they're hunting and being active. And I just thought that was the freaking coolest thing, man, because we never see information about wild green tree pythons. And he literally, I messaged him just to be like, dude, this is so cool. Thank you for sharing this on social media because this is just so interesting to me. And he was like talking to me a little bit about it. And he was saying that the babies, there would be frogs hopping right in front of them and they completely ignored them. Were not remotely interested.
Really?
But if a skink came in the area, boom, they're targeted, tongue flicking and doing the tail and like going crazy looking to catch skinks. And then he found ones. that had already caught skinks, and then after they catch something, they go up underneath some foliage and they'll perch up underneath the foliage and just hang out there while they're digesting. So they get cryptic basking underneath the leaves. The leaves create a greater surface area, so it heats up and allows them to digest appropriately.
Man. It becomes a radiant heat panel.
Exactly. Bro, I was like, oh, everyone has to go look at this right now. I don't care if you don't keep green tree pythons. This is so cool. You have to go check this out.
Dude, definitely.
So now I'm curious, right? When the switch happens, when that food cycle switch happens, what point in their life does it start swapping around?
It probably has to do with their autogenetic color change. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that, because like I'm thinking the yellow babies skinks are not gonna be noticing that, and then also small birds, and then once they turn green, they're like, well, okay, it's just gonna hunt at nighttime, I guess. Yeah. And this is a small sample size, so this is only just Northern Australia, but still, bro, like, yeah, it's so cool.
Well, the skinks are diurnal too, right?
Exactly.
So exactly. That's when everything's happening for that food source. So I would assume when they start to switch from skinks over to
something bigger,
yeah, then you're gonna hunt at night instead of the day, depending on your prey availability. I bet that has something to do with it too.
Yes.
Hell yeah, that's so freaking awesome.
Okay, I just had to get that out. That was cool as hell.
Hell yeah.
And also sorry, Matt Summers, because I misspoke in that other episode.
I thought we weren't going to talk about it.
I thought we weren't either, but I feel like I need to address it. Matt Summers, Reptiles is cool.
I'm mad because you said shout out to Matt Somerville, who's in Australia, blah, blah, blah. And I almost said, I thought he was in Southern California. And I bit my tongue to not embarrass you, you bastard.
I just embarrassed myself. I got to own it.
Man, shout out to Matt Summers. He's cool enough to let me piggyback off his booth at Pomona tomorrow. You know, like I said, I only have 7 or 8 animals that I'm going to bring. And, you know, he already have a booth, so he's let me take a corner of it. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Boom. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we will catch y'all next time. I have a feeling we're gonna have somebody cool on next time as well. 2023, we're kicking this off great. Brandon, you're the man.
Yeah, dude.
Reptile Talk 101
in the book.